Joining us now is former NASA astronaut and retired U.S. Army Colonel Bill McArthur. Thanks for being here. What's another delay when you've been there 9 months, but I know they're anxious to get home. Take us through what's happening right now to assure their safe return.
Well, good morning, Marni, and it is a delight to be with you. Well, of course, their safe return has really not been in question because the vehicle that will bring them back is already at ISS. They will return. They became part of the Crew 9 mission when that astronaut and cosmonaut arrived at ISS. And so, of course, what they're continuing to do is business as usual. Now, they've clearly already done a lot of their packing to return to bring back whatever personal items they hope to return with. And so for right now, it's business as usual. And, we're quite accustomed to launches becoming delayed.
But when you're in the seat, I just think about what's going through their minds. They've already packed, right? I mean, I guess the equivalent would be you're sitting on the airplane, you're on the tarmac, and they say, trip's canceled, we're heading back to the gate. These folks are in space, and they're waiting to come home, and they literally, in the 11th hour, are told they won't. Mentally, how do you just prepare for all of that, astronaut or not? Just kind of the back and forth of uncertainty.
Well, and so the really good thing is they're not strapped in yet. So the ISS environment itself is extremely comfortable. And so they're comfortable. Again, they're in a routine. And so once more, gosh, Butch and Suni are so experienced. They're accustomed to those things. Those are at most minor annoyances and barely an inconvenience. On my 3 shuttle missions, none of them launched on time. And so especially if you're strapped in and then your launch gets scrubbed, it's a little disappointing just because of the effort involved to get ready. But again, it's not unusual. It's part of the environment. Now, fortunately, my 4th mission on board a Russian Soyuz launched right on time.
Yeah, so I think you just got to roll with the punches. I think about the physicality of being in space for that long, whether you planned it or not. How long does it take once you're back on Earth to acclimate? What are some of the challenges these astronauts will be faced with?
And so the most immediate challenge is adapting to having body weight again. We use as a rule of thumb that it takes about 1 day back for each day that you've been in space, but I'm pretty sure it kind of levels off at some point. Some of the immediate effects are because you've been weightless for so long, your body has forgotten how to cope with gravity, how to maintain your sense of balance. So we don't even allow space explorers to attempt to walk once they've returned, immediately after returning from a long duration mission. But within a few hours that recovers. Now, some of the other issues that we have become pretty good at compensating for are muscle atrophy, loss of muscle strength, and bone demineralization. So those are not as big a factor as they were, let's say, 20 years ago. But there are some effects that we don't fully understand. There's one we call it SANS, Spaceflight Associated Neuroocular Syndrome. And the most obvious effect is some astronauts experience permanent physiological changes to their eyes, and they have a permanent degradation in visual acuity. And so that's why we maintain the space station, why we send space travelers to the space station, so we can better understand the long-term effects of being weightless.
Yep, and we'll learn a lot after these 2 return from this mission. What a journey they will have had. Bill McArthur, thank you. Informative. I learned a lot there. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.